Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the way you think? What if I told you that the difference between people who achieve the impossible and those who stay stuck is not luck, not talent, not even intelligence, it's mindset? Everything starts with a decision. Not just any decision, a decision made with absolute certainty. The kind of decision where there is no turning back, no second guessing, no hesitation. The moment you decide with that level of clarity, your brain shifts, your energy shifts, your life shifts. Because when you make a decision with total certainty, you burn the bridges behind you. You eliminate doubt, you eliminate excuses, you eliminate the option to fail. Most people never get what they want, not because they aren't capable, but because they never truly decide. They wish, they hope, they say it would be nice if, but they never plant their feet in the ground and say this is happening no matter what. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. The ones who make things happen aren't the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who have trained themselves to commit fully, to decide with such force that failure is not an option. Think about the moments in your life when you truly committed to something, when you had no way out, no backup plan, no escape. You found a way, didn't you? You pushed through, you figured it out, you made it happen. Because when your brain knows there's no retreat, it activates a different level of resourcefulness, focus, and drive. That's the power of decision. That's the power of certainty. The problem is most people leave room for doubt. They tell themselves, I'll try, or I'll see how it goes, or maybe one day, and what happens? Nothing. That mindset leaves the door open for hesitation, and hesitation kills momentum. The second you hesitate, you invite fear, you invite excuses, you invite failure. But when you decide with absolute certainty, you eliminate all of that. You send a message to your brain, to the universe, to everything around you that says this is happening no matter what. And suddenly, the way forward becomes clear. It's not about waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect circumstances. It's about making the decision and then making it right. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't wait until you feel ready. You commit and you adjust along the way, because once you decide at that level, your actions follow. Your brain starts looking for solutions instead of excuses. Your energy shifts from hoping to doing. You've seen this in people who achieve at the highest level. They don't just set goals, they decide. They don't entertain doubt, they execute. They don't let fear slow them down, they move forward anyway. That's the difference. That's the mindset that separates those who dream from those who achieve. And it all starts with one thing, an unshakable decision made with absolute certainty. Your mind is the command center of your life. Whatever you train it to focus on, that's what it will find. If you constantly focus on problems, your brain will reinforce those problems. If you focus on solutions, your brain will become wired to overcome anything in your path. Most people get stuck because they obsess over what's going wrong, over what's missing, over why things are hard. But the people who break through, the ones who become unstoppable, are the ones who shift their focus to what they can do, what is possible, and how they will figure it out. Your brain is designed to answer the questions you give it. If you keep asking, why is this happening to me? Or why can't I ever catch a break? Your mind will come up with answers that justify your limitations. It will remind you of every failure, every time you were overlooked, every reason why things won't work out. But if you start asking, how can I make this work? Or what's the next move I can take? Your mind will immediately shift into problem-solving mode. It will scan for opportunities, find creative solutions, and push you toward action. Every challenge you face has a solution. It may not be obvious, it may not be easy, and it may require you to stretch beyond what you think you're capable of, but it exists. The people who win in life are the ones who refuse to get stuck in the problem. They train themselves to break patterns of fear and frustration. They refuse to dwell on obstacles, and instead they force their minds to focus on progress, even if it's just one small step forward. This kind of thinking is not natural for most people. The brain is wired for survival, which means it automatically scans for threats, problems, and dangers. It takes intentional effort to retrain your mind to focus on solutions. It takes discipline to interrupt the cycle of fear and redirect your energy toward action. But once you develop this skill, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop feeling powerless, and you start taking control of your circumstances. The truth is, life will test you. You will face setbacks. You will hit roadblocks. You will have moments where it feels like nothing is working. But the way you respond to those moments is what determines your future. If you let problems consume you, they will. If you force your mind to search for solutions, you'll find them. The people who refuse to quit, who rise above their challenges, who turn obstacles into stepping stones, those are the ones who succeed. They have trained their minds to ask better questions, to look for a way forward, and to take action even when things feel impossible. It's never about whether or not challenges will come. They will. It's about whether or not you've conditioned your mind to push past them. And that starts by making a decision to stop focusing on what's wrong and start training your brain to find solutions in every situation. Your emotional state controls everything: your decisions, your actions, your energy, and ultimately, your results. Most people think emotions are something that just happen to them, that they have no control over how they feel. But the truth is, your emotional state is something you generate. It's something you train, something you master. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who wait to feel motivated, confident, or strong. They are the ones who create those emotions on demand, no matter what is happening around them. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. They wake up tired, so they move slowly. They feel unmotivated, so they procrastinate. They get frustrated, so they give up. But if you want to be unstoppable, you must flip that pattern. You must learn how to control your emotional state so that no matter what happens, you can still take action. You can still push forward. You can still operate at a high level, even when you don't feel like it. Emotion is created by motion. If you sit still, slouch, and breathe shallowly, your body will signal to your brain that you are low on energy. Your emotions will follow, and you will feel sluggish, unmotivated, and stuck. But the second you change your physical state, stand up, move with intensity, breathe deeply, you send a completely different signal to your brain. You tell it that you are strong, focused, and ready to attack whatever is in front of you. That's why some of the most successful people in the world have routines that prime their emotions first thing in the morning. They don't wait to feel good, they create it. They get their body moving, they focus their mind on gratitude and power, and they train themselves to step into the energy they need to win the day. Your language also controls your emotional state. The words you use shape the way you feel. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, or I can't do this," your mind will believe you. It will reinforce those emotions, and you will feel drained before you even begin. But if you start telling yourself, "I've got this, I'm built for this," or "I am unstoppable," your brain will shift. It will generate energy, strength, and resilience. The words you use create your reality. And if you want to master your emotions, you must take control of the language you speak to yourself every single day. Successful people don't wait for the right emotions to show up. They train themselves to step into the emotions they need. They have rituals, habits, and mental strategies that keep them in a peak state no matter what is happening around them. They don't let fear, doubt, or frustration control them. Instead, they decide how they want to feel, and they create that feeling on command. That's why they can keep moving forward even when things get tough, and that's why nothing can stop them. Setbacks are not the end of the road, they are the fuel that drives you forward. Every person who has ever achieved something great has faced failure, rejection, and obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is the ability to use setbacks as fuel instead of as excuses. Most people see failure as a sign to stop, as proof that they are not good enough, as a reason to lower their expectations. But the unstoppable ones, they see failure as feedback. They take every setback and turn it into a lesson, a challenge, a reason to push even harder. The truth is, failure is part of the process. It is unavoidable. If you are pushing yourself, if you are striving for something bigger, you will fail. You will make mistakes. You will fall short. But every time you do, you have a choice. You can either let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can either let it drain your confidence, or you can use it to strengthen your resolve. The people who reach the highest levels of success are the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They take the pain, the disappointment, the frustration, and they turn it into power. Most people avoid failure because they fear what it will mean about them. They take it personally. They let it shake their belief in themselves. But failure is not a reflection of your worth. It is a test of your persistence. It is the universe asking you, how bad do you really want this? And your answer is not in your words. It is in your actions. It is in whether you get back up, whether you push forward, whether you keep moving, even when everything feels like it is working against you. Every setback carries a lesson. Every failure teaches you something you didn't know before. The people who succeed are the ones who are willing to learn, willing to adapt, willing to take the hit and come back even stronger. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They don't dwell on what went wrong. They analyze, they adjust, they rework their strategy, and they come back with more fire than before. They know that every time they fail, they are one step closer to success. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is something you develop by going through tough moments and proving to yourself that you can survive them. Every time you face a challenge and push through, you strengthen your ability to handle adversity. You train yourself to become unshakable. You develop a mindset that cannot be broken no matter how many times you get knocked down. That is the difference between people who stay stuck and people who rise. It is not about avoiding setbacks. It is about using them as fuel to drive you forward with even more intensity. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. Whatever you tolerate is what you will continue to experience. If you accept mediocrity, you will live a mediocre life. If you accept excuses, you will always find reasons to stay stuck. But if you demand more from yourself, if you refuse to settle, if you raise your standards in every area of your life, everything will change. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to accept anything less than the best from themselves. They demand more, they push harder, and they never lower their expectations just because something is difficult. Most people have dreams, but they never achieve them because their standards don't match their desires. They say they want success, but they tolerate procrastination. They say they want to be fit, but they tolerate skipping workouts and eating junk food. They say they want to be financially free, but they tolerate spending money on things that don't serve them. Your life will always align with what you are willing to accept. If you don't demand more from yourself, if you don't hold yourself to a higher standard, you will stay exactly where you are. Raising your standards starts with shifting your identity. It's not about what you do, it's about who you believe you are. When you decide that you are the kind of person who follows through, who takes action, who refuses to quit, your actions will reflect that identity. You won't need motivation, you won't need willpower, because the way you operate will become automatic. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't make excuses, you simply do what is required because that is the level you hold yourself to. The difference between people who achieve massive success and those who don't is not opportunity, it's not resources, it's not even intelligence. It's their standards. They don't tolerate laziness. They don't tolerate excuses. They don't tolerate playing small. They push themselves beyond their limits because they know that growth only happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. The moment you raise your standards and refuse to settle for anything less than excellence, your entire life will shift. Look at any area of your life that is not where you want it to be, and you will see a reflection of the standards you have accepted. If you want better results, you must demand better from yourself. You must stop allowing yourself to operate at a level that is beneath your potential. You must raise the bar on what you expect from yourself every single day. When you do that, success is no longer a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. Because when you refuse to settle, when you commit to excellence, when you hold yourself to the highest possible standard, you will rise to meet it, no matter what it takes. Nothing changes until you take massive, relentless action. Thinking about success, planning for success, or talking about success will not get you there. The only thing that creates results is action. Bold, decisive, consistent action. Most people never reach their potential, not because they aren't capable, but because they hesitate, they overthink, they wait for the perfect moment. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. The people who win in life are the ones who move forward even when they don't feel ready, even when the plan isn't perfect, even when fear is screaming at them to stop. Action creates momentum. The moment you take the first step, everything starts to shift. Confidence doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every time you push forward, even when it's uncomfortable, you build the kind of mental toughness that makes you unstoppable. But if you hesitate, if you stay stuck in your head, you will always find reasons to wait, to procrastinate, to hold yourself back. The mind will always come up with excuses, always look for the easy way out, always convince you that you need more time. But the people who succeed don't listen to those voices. They act, they move, they execute, and they figure it out along the way. Massive action is not about taking a single step and waiting to see what happens. It is about relentless movement, about attacking your goals with such intensity that failure doesn't stand a chance. Most people dip their toes in, test the waters, and hope for the best. The people who dominate, the ones who make the impossible happen, are the ones who go all in. They don't just try, they commit. They take action so aggressively, so consistently, that success becomes inevitable. The key is to remove hesitation from your mindset. The second you start debating whether you should act, you've already lost. The mind loves to analyze, to doubt, to create reasons why now isn't the right time. But when you train yourself to take immediate action, you break that cycle. You condition yourself to move forward before fear has a chance to stop you. Whether it's making a decision, starting a project, or taking the first step toward a goal, the faster you act, the less resistance you will face. The more you hesitate, the harder it becomes. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not always the most talented or the most experienced. They are simply the ones who refuse to wait. They take action before they feel ready, they keep going when others slow down, and they refuse to stop until they get what they came for. They don't look for shortcuts, they don't hope for luck, they don't wait for motivation. They create their own momentum through action, and that is what separates them from everyone else.